Greetings, it is Sacred Woman Practitioner Tatami, and I am very eager to make up for the sister circle that I missed due to being sick. I'm feeling much better now, but I have a really busy schedule, so my plan is to basically steal some moments in time throughout today and then make a video and upload it by this evening, and really make a little experience for you guys to utilize the best you can. I'm sorry about being late. I really I just misread my body and, how long it would take me to feel recovered and how ill I truly felt, all of those little things. So yeah, I probably could have known if I was being reasonable and honest with myself. I have to remember I just started using this, so I have to remember it's there. I keep somehow bumping it on my chest. I didn't realize I hit my chest so much when I talk. So anyways, yeah, thank you for joining me, and welcome to the Sacred Sister Circle. Don't forget to donate $1 a month on patreon.com/Sacred Sister Circle if you like it. We call on the ancestors, both known and unknown, to join us in our Sacred Sister Circle today, to join us in our month-long quest through the gateway of sacred foods, to learn how to heal ourselves, replenish ourselves, and use food as our medicine in our everyday lives to heal ourselves, our loved ones, our families, and our communities. Ashe. Instead of taking this as a moment to be everything's going terrible, why do I even bother? Why do I even try? Instead, you go the opposite route. You're saying, I am going to fast and pray and rejuvenate and heal and uplift myself and fill myself with goodness. And so this is a moment for you to go even more in your center, even more in your faith, even more in your position of, righteousness and sacredness, because you're on the right path, you have faith in your ancestors, that you have this solid foundation, which was built not because nothing bad was ever going to happen, but because, so it would be solid when those things inevitably did, right? So taking those moments to things are falling to shit around you, but you're capable then of healing and finding those little healing modalities, not necessarily coming in and changing all of the water to wine, but you're coming in and you're doing those little things that offer healing to yourself, offer healing to your family, offer healing to your world, and continue that growth. That's conjure, that's hoodoo. It's that communal effort, those little bits of effort daily of keeping putting that energy out there, because you know it's reciprocating back to you. So those are the little thoughts that we have around not only food, but you know, the rest of our lifestyle as root workers, as sacred women. Let the spirit move that soup. In our kitchen healing laboratory, women sacred and divine, let's stir our pots to victory. Eat my soup so I can watch another sleeping giant wake up, because I got power in my soup. The power has always been in the soup. African women everywhere, stir those pots. Show you care, be creative. Let the spirit move through that soup. Use distilled or purified water in the preparation. As an option, you can add vegetables steamed 3 to 5 minutes. The less time you cook the food, the better, for then it retains more vitamins and minerals. You, like Sister Wahida and other spirit cookers, must become an earth cooker by allowing your inner spirit to guide you as you prepare your sacred natural foods for nourishment of the body, mind, and spirit. Use your intuition and your mother wit to measure out the amount of water, vegetables, seasoning required for the work intended. Prepare food in your best spiritual mood so you can tune in to the earth cooker within you. Here are some suggestions. So for your womb journal, you could maybe jot some of these down. And for the intuitive part, you know, it can be partially try and intuitively lead yourself, but then also don't forget to invite your ancestors, those ancestral spirits that knew how to throw down in the kitchen. And remember that the planet is important, not just because the planet is important, which it is, and the planet is in danger, which it is, but also because that is a part of our spirituality, is that nature veneration. And this is one of the solid ways that you can take action, is not only connecting with the plants of this earth, with the fruits of the earth and the herbs, and learning how to blend and actually cook with them and actually season with them and all of those wonderful things without, you know, kind of the crutch of meat, but then also you know, expanding your palate, expanding your knowledge in that way, expanding, therefore, you know, how grateful you are for all of the abundance that there is and all of the choices that there are. It's a way of connecting with utilizing less, right? Because at the end of the day, no matter how much water an almond takes to grow, it's not anywhere comparable to how much water it takes to grow a cow, or how much, you know, it takes to make a cup of milk, a cup of you know, a hamburger. It's just not the same, you know. So using less resources in that way, choosing to usually use less resources, choosing to cut back, choosing to only consume meat products or cheesy products on like holidays or 1 to 3 times a week, cutting back to that little is truly an effective method for us to make a change globally if more of us did this, right? So we're trying to live our lives in a way that inspires others to also make these changes and also grow and want to change and help the earth as well. All right, so first we have barbecue tofu. You need some firm tofu, garlic minced up, paprika, some veggie salt, sage, thyme, cayenne, onion, salt, olive oil, and whole wheat flour. Cut the tofu into long strips like barbecued ribs. Season both sides with that lightly sprinkle of, mix up that garlic, paprika, veggie salt, sage, thyme, cayenne, and onion salt all together into a little mixture, and coat the tofu strips with that. Grease a baking pan or a cooking sheet with oil. Sprinkle this with whole wheat flour. Place the seasoned strips on top of the plant, and that the whole wheat flour is evenly covering the pan. You put the strips on top of that. Bake it for 30 minutes at 350 until it's a light crispy brown. And then you're going to spoon barbecue sauce, a natural barbecue sauce, onto the tofu. Put this back in the oven and bake for an additional 15 to 20 minutes. Serve hot. The barbecue sauce recipe is 1 tablespoon of smoky sauce, 1 tablespoon of natural mustard, 1 tablespoon of honey, and 1 tablespoon of Bragg's natural seasoning salt, or you can just buy a barbecue sauce. Make sure it's vegan. I also forgot to add that you should be checking to make sure things don't have like high fructose corn syrup and that type of thing as well. All right, so next we have a vegetable stew. Olive oil, or 1 1/4 stick of a vegetable margarine of some sort. 2 onions peeled and chopped. A green pepper deveined and chopped. 2 to 5 stalks of celery chopped. 3 cloves of garlic minced. Half a teaspoon of sage. Add 1 tablespoon of curry powder. Vegetables, a tablespoon of vegetable salt, tablespoon of fresh dill, tablespoon of parsley, 2 tablespoons Bragg's natural seasoning salt, half cup of water, 4 bags of spinach, carefully washed and chopped, pinch of cayenne, half cup grated firm tofu. You're going to saute your onions, your green peppers, your celery, and your garlic, and your olive oil / margarine, whatever it is you're using, at the bottom of the pot. Start letting them caramelize, get the onions getting transparent. Add some sage, curry powder. Put the curry powder in like a cup and make a little paste with a little bit of water first, and then add that, just so it's not like clumpy and stuff inside of the soup. Add the veggie salt, the dill, the parsley, the Bragg's, the margarine, and the half a cup of water. Then add spinach, let it simmer. Add a pinch of cayenne according to taste, and a half a cup of grated tofu in place of... Hey, so I recorded all of it yesterday only to find out that a good portion of the videos did not record sound. So I am back at it again. I'm determined to finish this sister circle come what may. All right, so first I had been finishing off talking about adding a cayenne pepper, adding some grated tofu for cheese, and then also adding your veggie salt, your Bragg's, your parsley, your dill, and then making a honey topping, blending 1.5 cups of tomato sauce, a teaspoon of mustard, veggie salt to taste, and a teaspoon of honey. Spread this on top of the vegetable mixture and serve all of this over some brown rice or your grain of choice. There's also a recipe for texturized vegetable protein curried chicken. Texturized vegetable protein is soy. It's also pretty cheap, and it's a really easy way to substitute into your meals instead of, for protein instead of meat. So a pound of texturized vegetable proteins, 2 tablespoons of your vegan margarine, 3 onions that are peeled and chopped, 3 tablespoons of garlic minced, a tablespoon of veggie salt, half a tablespoon of sage, 2 tablespoons of curry powder, 1 tablespoon of honey, half a tablespoon of sea salt, 16 ounces of chickpeas, and 1 cup of chopped carrots. You're going to soak the vegetable proteins in lukewarm water until they are softer and nicely textured. In larger pot, melt the butter, margarine, saute onions, garlic, veggie salt, sage, curry powder, diluted. You put the curry, always try and put that in a little container, mix a little bit of water, and make a little paste, and then put that into your food. Then honey and sea salt. Note that she does add honey to her vegan meals. I mean, I've never cut out honey, I'll be honest. So it's mostly a plant-based diet. Then we have 8 ounces of cooked chickpeas and carrots, another 8 ounces of cooked chickpeas through the blender, and then you add that also to the mixture, so it's just the same thing but a different texture. Then we have adding 2 cups of water. Add cold pressed olive oil over the mixture after it has cooled for 10 minutes. Then we have My kids. Then we have a sweet potato pie recipe that's very simple. We have a 9-inch pie crust that you've bought or made. No, those are usually vegan when you just buy them. 5 pounds of sweet potatoes. That makes about 4 pies. Approximately 4 tablespoons of olive oil for a lighter pie. A teaspoon to a tablespoon of cinnamon. 1 to 2 teaspoons of nutmeg. An organic maple syrup, or 3 cups of dates blended with water. That's your sweetener only, because sweet potatoes are already, sweet. The sweet potatoes, boil those up. Once they're cooked through, remove the skins, return the potatoes to the pot, add your little bit of olive oil, your cinnamon, your nutmeg, your maple syrup, or your date mixture. Blend everything together until it's smooth. Pour the batter into the crust of the shell. Put this into the oven, 350 degree oven. Bake for 30 to 45 minutes. Very simple. We're going to have 2 cups of string beans. Oh, these are some steamed vegetables. Very simple. You just steam your string beans, some snow peas, some sweet yellow peppers, deveined and sliced, a cup of sweet red peppers, deveined and sliced. Take some basil leaves, marjoram, a fourth a teaspoon of that, a fourth of teaspoon of spike, which is, a seasoning salt. So whatever seasoning salt you like. Some powdered sage, steam for 3 minutes, string beans, all of the vegetables, steam them for 3 minutes, and then toss them in your herbs and flavors, and that's it. Eat that up. Then we have Green Dream, which is 4 stalks of celery, a head of cauliflower, 2 sweet red peppers, a head of broccoli, purple cabbage leaves, sunflower sprouts, mung bean sprouts, fresh peppermint leaves. You're going to put all the vegetables through the the food processor and make a salad. Then you put them, make a dressing and marinate it. And then you add the sprouts after you've chopped everything up. Sorry, everything but the sprouts. Then add the sprouts after so that they're all in their whole state. Then you're going to marinate this in your dressing and serve it later on top of cabbage leaves and strips of red pepper, as well as those fresh peppermint leaves. So mix together a 1/4 to a 1/2 cup of olive oil, a 1/4 teaspoon of powdered garlic, 4 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and a 1/4 of a teaspoon of barbecue seasoning, and just massage it into the salad, or just drizzle it on top and lightly toss however you're feeling like you want to eat it. Massaging it helps it so it's like not so dense, especially if you're using kale or something like that. It just really helps to kind of bruise it a little bit. It gives that flavor too. So then we have this super garden green salad. Get a large bowl full of arugula or mesclun, 1 cup of diced sweet red peppers, a cup of fresh parsley, a 1/2 cup of diced sweet yellow pepper, 2 cups of alfalfa sprouts. Mix it all together, and then your dressing can be a cup of olive oil mixed with a teaspoon of Dr. Bronner's balanced protein seasoning, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and 1 tablespoon of finely chopped parsley. So these can be very simple dressings. Mix them up and have them in your fridge so you can drizzle them on top of things. And make sure you're experimenting with the dressings and making things that you really want to eat. You look forward to eat. It adds that splash of flavor that entices you to continue eating. So Queen Afua's Sunflower Couscous Delight is 2 cups of couscous. You put that in a wooden or glass bowl, and couscous is a natural grain, so it doesn't need heat to cook. You're going to just pour those 2 cups of water over the couscous in the bowl, and allow it to sit for 10 minutes and fluff it with a fork. Then you can add the cold pressed olive oil, just a couple tablespoons of cold pressed olive oil, a 1/4 cup of onions or scallions that are diced, some parsley, diced up parsley in there. You mix that all up. Season with, cumin, the spike, seasoning salt, paprika or cayenne, and add some soaked sunflower seeds to the top for added texture and flavor at the very end. And you'll have a very nice couscous, very nutrient dense meal, but it's also very flavorful because it's got the fresh herbs, it's got that little bit of olive oil, so it kind of covers a lot of bases. Then finally we have a little dessert. This one's so easy. I really like this dessert. So, and it just shows that a lot of raw vegan food really is just like, blend it and create it, and eat it. So it's just about flavor combinations. So take 4 apples, cut into pieces, stems and seeds removed. Same thing with 4 pears, 2 cups of blueberries, 1/2 cup of currants that's been soaked in water for an hour, and 1 cup of walnuts that have been soaking in water overnight. And then have grated coconut on the side. Place everything except the grated coconut into a food processor. Pulse until it's very well blended. Then pour this into your serving bowls and sprinkle some coconut over the top. And that's it. So you can also, refrigerate it. You can heat it up. It's kind of up to you how you would like to eat this, or you can just eat it room temperature with all those delicious flavors. Just the blueberries alone makes it sound so good. So yeah, that was it for today. Next week, we're going to start at the sacred calabash section. I did want to talk about the laws of Mott and the, the laws of Mott and the Adinkra signs, the Adinkra symbols, because we just need to keep studying and working on our own inner moral code and our own strength. So let me open to the book. Our law that we're studying was, I will not abuse my sexuality. And this one is so important, I think, especially in a day and age where as women, as, people who have the ability to look back on our ancestors and kind of see what they went through, we are in a unique position of, having this knowledge, being able to see what it was like for people who were trapped with 10 kids in the middle of nowhere America, for people who, were forced into marriages, were forced into upholding their virginity above everything else, were forced into believing that their, womb wasn't worth anything, so that, they were available to anybody, all the different, from one end of the spectrum to the another, we're witness to so much of that. So it does make it difficult when you're trying to think of in terms of reclaiming your own sexuality, not only in a way that means something to, the whole movement, but one that's actually meaningful to you. What does it mean to you? Does it mean something to you to be modest and to only ever have sex with one person? Does it mean something to you to not be as strict with modesty, to be, okay with nudity, but not be promiscuous, to be promiscuous, but not, okay with nudity, finding ways to reclaim ourselves, finding ways to uplift ourselves. The way to make sure we're not abusing our sexuality is to, 1, of course, make sure we're not hurting others, but 2, to make sure that we're not hurting ourselves, that we're remaining honorable to our own belief systems, and also that we're not allowing other people to totally dictate. There is ways to grow when you read other people's opinions, but there are also, I feel like, especially on Facebook, I see this problem, and I recently just deleted the app because of this problem, because I felt like, I was like, wow, I almost felt bad about something that I actually like doing just because somebody else doesn't think that that's a worthwhile thing to do in life, and I was like, I need to stop inundating myself with this information. And, it's not always like 100% that bad, but it really does tend to be people going on and on and on and on about, if you get married at this age, your life isn't worth shit. If you have this many, this much money, or you don't have, this much money, especially, your life ain't shit. If you didn't figure out this part before this part, then this part is everything's going to shit. And we all know that's patently untrue. If we look around the world at people we know and love, not just celebrities, we see people who have broken these molds, who do things different, who love different, who live different, who experience business different, or have a partnership or a couplehood that's way different. And so, we see that people do this around us, and yet, we get online, and then it just feels like, a lot of this stuff is gospel that people are saying. And we have to remember that, we can learn from other people, but we also have to remain honorable to ourselves. And, what is honorable to somebody else's body isn't always honorable to your own body. So finding a way to, not abuse your sexuality, finding a way to honor it is kind of the opposite of it. As you're saying, like, how do you not abuse it? You're honoring it. How do you honor it? Is that you focusing on yourself? Is that you putting aside time for yourself? Is that you, only living this certain type of lifestyle that brings such joy to your heart and such wellness to your soul? Finding those things that are that for you, I think, is the most important quest in honoring our own sacred sexuality. All right, so our Adinkra card, our Adinkra symbol for today, I really, really love. It is Bessie Saka, sack of kola nuts, a symbol of affluence, power, and abundance. The kola nut played a significant role in the economy of Ghana in the past, and it's still a contributor to this day. So it represents affluence, power, abundance, wealth. It's time to think in more abundant terms. Shift your focus to what you want and how you will feel once your desires are fulfilled. Give power and focus on what you want. Be specific. Keep your vibrations positive and consistent. Experience the joy of your desires, not the angst. Think in abundant terms. Banish the scarcity mindset. You will always have what you need. I think this one is perfect for carving on candles or just drawing on a piece of paper. If you're, to put under a candle, in a jar, in your mojo bag, however it is you're doing it. Using this symbol for prosperity work, for wealth work, for a business altar, for any sort of, venture that you're taking that will require a wealth of something, not necessarily money, or will require power, will require some kind of affluence, some kind of influence, some kind of, that little edge that you're looking for. Maybe even, if you're working some work on your social media account, whatever it is, it can be small, it can be big, it can be your business, it can be anything. But finding those ways to incorporate symbolism that's been used by for so long in the bloodline by people who have put all this energy behind it is an excellent way to continue to add to the power of your conjure and to the power of your work, your ancestral connection, and your ancestral veneration. By the way, these cards are from adinkraliving.com. I really highly recommend this deck for readings and also for study and learning the Adinkra symbols. All right, thank you so much for joining the Sacred Sister Circle today. I'll see you all next Monday to wrap up the Gateway of Sacred Foods. Until then, keep making better choices. Keep trying to make this more of a lifestyle change and less of a diet fad. And until next time, I guess, then may your ancestors and spirit guides be with you at every crossroads. See you next time.